Good morning. How are you all doing? Um, I am. mm, okay. How y'all doing? Good. How's everybody? I am. Today is a Jupiter day, and Jupiter is at the 0 degree of Pisces. And Jupiter, oh, this is so incredible. Like, out of all the astrology, like, it's like at least we get Jupiter and Pisces. At least we have Jupiter and Pisces because Jupiter and Pisces is where we can really remold and create another reality if we are courageous enough to step out of our old patterns and ways of being and into a new reality. And so it's really Jupiter Pisces is this expansive consciousness, subconscious. Pisces is creation. Pisces is the ethers. Pisces is where the allness is. It's the subconscious, right? So everything comes out of the subconscious. If you know that film, um, with Leonardo DiCaprio, where they are, gosh, I can't stand when I get on here and I can't remember nothing. That's just ridiculous. It's like, how you gonna get on the camera and not be able to remember anything? Um, but there's this film, I cannot think of the name of it in this moment, with Leonardo, Inception, where it shows that everything is coming out of your mind, right? So with Jupiter in Pisces, and Jupiter governs the and Jupiter actually is one of the historical governing bodies of Pisces. And Jupiter is blessings and expansion and faith, and Pisces is the primordial force of consciousness. It's like and so we get to like make whatever we want if we have the courage to do it, because there's so many other things going on that are going to be really dismantling emotionally and challenging, and structures are coming undone. And so we need this Jupiter energy to begin to rebuild, to begin to build a new reality. Okay, so there's something that yesterday I forgot to mention, that Mercury is going into retrograde. So I want to skip back a little bit. Mercury goes into retrograde on January 14th. And so it'll be time to be getting ready for that. I will have a class available for that with the rituals, probably in a few days. So it's important to just start tracking that. Mercury, it has been conjunct Venus. And so and Venus and Capricorn. So our emotional bodies and our mental realities are beginning to come undone. The things you used to think, the way you used to feel, all like what's happening as our structures come undone, we literally are not able to use them in the way we used to use them. They just become obsolete. Um, and and it's just so mind-boggling to be alive while we're watching a culture come undone. It's profound. I watched this movie yesterday on Netflix. I don't know why I watched it. I just turned it on. I was just like, okay. And this Netflix documentary is, I mean, it's not a documentary, it's called Don't Look Up, with Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm really on his films today, Inception and Don't Look Up. And the whole movie was about like how everything in our culture is bullshit. Like it's just all fucking nothing. It's all nonsense. The president, like everything is just shit. Thank you. Thank you. And I was like, wow. And the thing about it, if you've watched it in the movie, and let me tell you, if you don't want, I'm going to give it away. So I'm going to give it away. So turn this off if you don't want to see it. But it's about a meteorite coming to Earth. And in my studies, there is a conversation in astronomy that there is a meteorite that's going to come and fuck us up. Right. And so, I don't have a right. I'm not an astrophysicist. So I don't know the math. I've not done any of that. Um, but it was really interesting to see how our culture is just on the verge of self-destructing. That's really like we're self-destructing. And this is not a mistake. This is the end of an age. That is what happens at the end of an age. We literally have run the gamut on this system and how it works. And so, with Pluto and Venus and Mercury all conjunct one another in Capricorn with our systems and structures, we're watching things just come undone, just collapse through our mindsets. Right. And the Mayans did say this, absolutely. And so, what we have to do is build a new one. And Jupiter coming into Pisces will give us the energy to build a new one, to build a new out of our own consciousness. We have to build it out of us, right? We have to build it out of who we're becoming, what we need, understanding ourselves. And we're already seeing it. Like I see on Instagram, like people, the things that we can do to heal ourselves because our medical industry is totally false. Like it was all based upon something that was just about money and control. So we have to really learn how to heal ourselves. First, we need to learn how to think. Pluto conjunct Mercury, changing our mind about external authority. Where do we give our authority to? You give your authority to doctors. Well, now you're the motherfucking doctor in your own life. You give your authority to politicians. You are the politician in your own life. You give your authority to teachers. You are like really understanding that and beginning to live into it. And so, the thing that I have learned in my studies is that the universe will say yes to whatever it is you have the courage and the fucking balls to command of it. But most of us don't have the balls because we've been conditioned in this Western reality that says what is right and what is good and all of these lies. So the energy has been very confusing in our systems. So we've not been able to hold our frequency strong enough to bring in the reality that we actually are here to bring in. But now this reality is collapsing. So we need people with big, big, big kahunas to be like, I'm fucking courageous enough to look crazy, to stand for the reality that is trying to emerge through you. And that is Jupiter and Pisces. Really having the courage. And you have to think about things, people like Walt Disney. Walt Disney built Disneyland. That's very Jupiter and Pisces energy, right? Like really, and if you trust your relationship with God, you trust your relationship with the God within you, your higher self, you're being directed. And it's very much a Noah's Ark kind of thing. And I used to love that story in the Bible when I was a child, the Noah's Ark. Just that Noah, that God spoke to Noah, that the Creator spoke to Noah. Like, because the Creator speaks to me. The Creator speaks to you if you're listening. The Creator speaks to us all when we're listening. So, and said to Noah, go build an ark. And Noah was like, build an ark? For what? Because of the rains. What do you mean because of the rains? There's no rain. And Noah was like, what are you talking about? And started doing the thing that the Creator within them told them to do. And then when the rains came, they were safe. So you have to be willing. And everybody that, the story goes that people were coming and being like, what are you doing? Ah, that's silly. It doesn't even rain. What are you talking about? And then when the rains came, everybody's like, oh, can I get down? So you have to have your own Noah's Ark experience where you are listening and doing what Spirit is telling you to do. That's why I've been teaching how to use the moon and how to use the cycles because Spirit told me to do this. And as I do it every day, I talk to women and men who are coming into a different consciousness and leading themselves out of the old way of thinking by beginning to trust their inner dialogue, their inner feelings, their inner powers and gifts and talents, right? And so, when people thought I was nuts. People were like, that's silly. You're too whatever. Now everybody's on it, right? And so, and I got a clear message 14, 15 years ago that this was going to be happening. And so, what is the message that you have? It's for you to do to really step into your own step into your own commitment to your relationship with the God in you. And that's Jupiter, the vision, right? The vision. And go learn, come book a reading and find out where Pisces is in your chart so you can see what area you want to focus on. I created a class last year that was just about Jupiter in Aquarius, around like really stepping into the grandeur of your God identity. And this is actually combing through your subconscious and bringing out of your subconscious what it is you feel called to do. And it's so important to recognize that what you desire is desiring you, right? And like I said, you got to have the courage, you got to have the balls, right? To be like, this is what I want. And so, like, for me, what I noticed, I'm like, okay, universe, I want to be in an environment that's healing with people who are doing healing things. And the more I press that onto the consciousness, then I meet a woman. You know, I met Erin and she's has a healing community, a space, right? And so if you can have the courage, don't worry about how, just know what it is you feel called to and begin to get clear about the steps you need to take. Come get a reading, come do the moon work, because in the moon work, I create a system that will allow you to use the energy of the moon step by step to climb from where you are into another dimension of your reality being realized, because you have to do it from the inside out. It's not an outside in job, it's an inside out job. Why? Because the feminine leads. The feminine is first. So you create from the inside out. You give birth to something inside of you, you create it on the inside, and then you push it out the womb and it becomes an external experience. And so you have to understand the laws of creation and how they motherfucking work. Because these motherfucking white people in this country who created a system that really just works where they get all of the energy. And we see how they always say the 1%, because the system is designed for our energy to be extracted and be given to the 1%, right? So we are breaking the system, breaking our agreement with this system, with these ways of being. And we have to do it through our thoughts. You have to do it through your thinking. You have to stop with the competition. You have to stop believing that you're missing out, that somebody out there has more than you, that somebody's out to get you. You have to stop creating all these delusions that these motherfuckers believe in or give everybody else to believe in, so that we're trapped in our own thing, right? You have to really take responsibility for how you have participated in the system, how you bought in, how you believed it. We all did, like, how could, we did it to some degree. How could you not? It's all everybody else was doing. It's the only thing, it's been the only game in town, right? And so as you take responsibility for how you have participated in it, and then do the work mentally and emotionally to undo your reliance upon it. That's Venus in retrograde in Capricorn. Your emotional reliance upon daddy in the sky, the judges, the systems, the taxes, the doctors, the right, like how can we, and understand that we can begin to, if we have the courage to find new ways to heal ourselves, new ways will be revealed. If we have the courage to find new ways to educate ourselves, new ways will be revealed. If we have the courage to find new ways to govern ourselves, new ways will be revealed. But we have to be courageous. We have to have really big kahunas to take, to say, this is what will work, because the system that we're in is obsolete. It's done. And I send all sorts of, lightning bolts to the system, that it may collapse even faster, even quicker than it was. And then I bring light to those of us who are willing to embody the new light. I call forth light within our systems, that we may have the courage to see the way, and to be pioneers into new ways of doing things, to have the courage to know that we can heal ourselves by using herbs, by touch, by Reiki, that we can actually transmute energies in ways that our old way of thinking had us thinking that the universe, the nature is out to get us, right? You got to be scared. Something's out to get you. And my understanding is that we are unified with this reality, that we are a part of it, that nothing is out to get us, that nothing is out to get us. It's all in service to us, right? So when you change your mind about it, you change your mind. Mercury's going into retrograde January 14th. We're going to do a whole class on transforming your mind. You want to change your mind about the systems, about the structures, about where you've been giving your power away. Change your mind about it, and then you can have a new experience of it. Be thee renewed by the transformation of your mind, right? All right, y'all. I don't really have nothing else today. Let me think. When I'm not here, I have so many things I want to think about and talk about with you all, and then I forget when I get here, and then I leave, and then I'm pissed off because I don't want to come back more than once a day. Um, but I will say this: the movie "Don't Look Up." Please go watch it. I will say that, like I said, I'm going to ruin it, and an asteroid comes and everybody dies or something like that. But when I was watching it, I have a real interesting conversation with death where I really tell myself, I'm not going to leave here alive. This is it. I'm not getting out of this motherfucker alive, you know? So I can be with it. But as I was watching it, my cats came and sat on top of me. My body was heating up. And because I was like, wow, that's that Piscean energy. Pisces, we're so empathic. We can feel everything, right? So I could feel like my imminent death coming as I was watching it. It was actually kind of cool. I was like, oh, you have Neptune and Sag and Pisces in the sixth house. Wow. If I were you with Neptune and Sag and Pisces in the sixth house, I would be doing water rituals for the next 6 months, literally, to just water a new reality being born. That's what I would do if I were you. But yes, and so this movie, it just makes so clear how everything in our country is just bullshit. It's so fascinating. But the fact that we're alive right now is amazing because we can create a new reality. And it's going to take us really understanding that we have dominion over the reality. That's the fucking challenge, is that we don't understand that we are the governors of this shit. We actually think that we're subject to it. And that is the problem, because the way this Western capitalistic system is set up, they're constantly telling us, you don't have enough, you don't have enough, you're a scarcity, there's this, there's that. So because of that, we think like this. We think, because it's like, Jesus is out there. You got to be good for Jesus. Those ideas, pattern ways of thinking that have us looking outside of ourselves for power, that have us thinking that something is out to get us. And it's not true. They did that in order to have us give our power away. It's not true at all. Valentina said, what hit me about that movie is that I've literally worked with politicians like that. It wasn't satire, it felt so real. And we give them power. Yes, unstable people. That's right. They are unstable. So we've got to really become the governors and the purveyors of our own energy and lives, because the people who we have been electing are imbeciles. They like it's just the way the system is set up, though. It's set up that way. It's called Don't Look Up, and it's on Netflix. And so, but the more we realize that the power is inside of us, and with Jupiter moving into Pisces, literally, how can we expand our subconscious? And you should spend time every day envisioning the world that you want to see. Envision the world that you really want to see. This is the problem, and of course, I was like, why would they end the world with a fucking meteorite? Because the limited consciousness of these Western white male minds only envision terror because they want to scare people to get people more scared. So you don't envision that fucking bullshit. This universe will bring one day. Let me tell y'all, a couple of years ago, I walked outside and there were a billion butterflies flying through Los Angeles. A motherfucking billion butterflies flying through Los Angeles. Why aren't we envisioning that? Why are we focusing on fear and drawing destruction to ourselves? Why would you do that? It's so ridiculously imbecile and stupid when we understand that we live in a creative universe. Why would you create more fucking terror? Idiots! So let's envision the world that we actually want to live in every day. Every day. Let's envision people healing. Let's envision people getting free. Let's envision people being happy. Let's envision people being empowered. Let's envision people being able to heal their bodies and mothers being able to love their children freely without feeling like they're under any threat, and fathers and husbands being able to create reality. Like, let's envision what we fucking want and stop fucking thinking about what we don't. These crazy ass motherfuckers, they're crazy. And they are the leaders of the world. How the fuck did this happen? Oh my God. And literally they make no progress. There's no progress being made. They're fucking everything up. Literally, they're fucking it all up. So I encourage us, let's just take responsibility. Let's take responsibility for your own inner reality. Take responsibility for your thoughts. Take responsibility for the stories you're telling yourself. Take responsibility for the conversations you have with other people when they say all the negative stuff. Just question them and go, is it possible that it could be something else? Take responsibility for the reality that you are creating and generating, because that is what is going to change the world, because the leaders are fucking it up. All right, y'all. Okay, so I am also still doing new moon, full moon readings. You can book a new moon, full moon reading to see, how to be present with it. The moon is in Scorpio for the rest of the day. The Scorpio energy is to look deeper, find deeper meaning, right? Like with the sun in Capricorn, it's literally, we are creating an entirely new reality. Everybody, it's not on the news. They're not talking about it. I don't know what they're talking about. They're talking about some virus or something like that. What the fuck is that? Right? Like, and so whatever it is, if we begin to understand that we have control, dominion over this reality, that we are the creators, like, and your frequency creates it, right? Your frequency, like what you are vibrating, actually penetrates and then the reality is built around you, because you have a whole auric field that is so much more. This body is 10%, 10%, 10% of who you are. 10%. 90% of you is unseen. And if you are not relating to that 90% of you, it's trying to get your attention by doing things like making you sick, making you anxious, fucking up your money, fucking up your relationship, because you're not acknowledging the other aspects of you. That's why I say, come do the moon work. Y'all don't want to listen to me, but the moon work is anybody in here doing the moon work, been doing it with me for a while. The moon work governs that subconscious power, and you start to really recognize your subconscious patterns, and then you can literally, my ability to have impact in the 3D reality through my conscious thought is growing stronger and stronger every day because of the moon work. More and more, I'm able to just think something and it shows up. Yesterday, I had my hot water heater replaced the other day, and replaced about 3 weeks ago, and I've been hearing it going like, It's like cooking. And so I would hear that. And then I walked in the kitchen and I heard it. And I heard myself think to myself, I thought out loud, is that dangerous that I can hear that? I thought, is that dangerous? And the very next day, I walked outside. The plumber was coming out of my building. Who put it in? He was fixing somebody else's thing. And the plumber was coming out of my building. And I said, hey, I had a question for you. The hot water heater is going, and he said, yes, that is what's been going on with the hot water heaters lately. I said, is it safe? He said, yes, it's completely safe. I had the thought, it showed up within 24 hours. The person showed up. I can, if I started making a list of that, I can just talk about those for 20 minutes because I have it going on all day long. I can think of somebody and just because of the moon work. Telling y'all want real, like literally, I don't even know. I don't even know what else to say. Okay, you all. I love you all so very much. Use the energy to really get true to yourself. Like Jupiter in Pisces. Like, what's the dream? What's the dream? Like, don't worry about what people gonna think of you. Don't worry about looking silly. Don't try to figure out how. What is it? Just give yourself permission to have. Do you know how many of our ancestors weren't as who we are? They couldn't even have the luxury to think of a dream. And for you not to give yourself the opportunity to dream with all of the possibilities that the world is opening up to us now would be a shame. And I don't like to shame people, so I take that back. It's not a shame. It would just be, it means that you have to come back to it later. But yeah, so give yourself the opportunity to be with your dreams. What do you dream, right? Oh, yes, I know. Our grandmothers, God bless our grandmothers. They loved us so much. Okay, I'm done. Peace and blessings. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.